Howdy folks, and welcome to Princely Poodle Plays. I'm your purple poodle host, Prince, and today we're getting down to basics in Firefly Studios Stronghold. Last week we began a playthrough of the military campaign ending on Mission 4. Some of you may be wondering why I made the particular choices I made, so this week we'll be replaying missions 1 through 3 and focusing on why we do what we do. Let's get started. Combat-based games, military campaign, Mission 1. Gathering the Lost. Act 1. The Fallen Kingdom.
As soon as the king had marched his army into the barbarian homeland, rumors began of a plot to seize the throne. When news came of the king's capture, the country was invaded. Several nobles, including your father, sought to end the bloodshed, but on the way to meet for negotiations, their party was massacred by a band of unknown raiders. Bruised and exhausted, you have been beaten back to a forest on an overlooked peninsula where a small group of loyal troops are hiding. Although the country is lost, maybe from this refuge you can at least avenge your father's death.
Mission 1. Gathering the Lost.
I say we act now and strike while the iron is hot.
No. The few men we have would be cut down like lambs to the slaughter. We need time to gather our forces.
Nonsense! I shall take 6 of me finest men into enemy territory by the cover of darkness and...
No, just listen. Our men are close to starvation. This is what we must do.
The debate rages on well into the night, but eventually Lord Woolsack takes you to one side.
Sir Longarm tells me he knew your father well, which is why I'm giving you your chance to prove yourself. It is time you got your first taste of command.
All right.
We need you to oversee the setting up of a good-sized base camp. Start by finding a suitable clearing, then use some of the wood plentiful in this area to begin your construction.
Let's see. We check our hints, as always, because this will help significantly in each mission. Start by building a couple of woodcutter huts, then place a couple of hunter posts. Placing the hunter posts close to the granary will speed up food production. Placing the woodcutter huts near the trees will speed up wood production. As I said before, it's pretty basic. Our objectives are to acquire 20 meat and 40 wood. So, let's get started.
Place a keep to site your castle, my liege.
Now, you might think that placing a keep right here at the center would be the best way to go about this, but given the simple objectives for this mission, it's actually better to place it much closer to the trees, because not only do our woodcutter's posts benefit from being closer to the trees, they also benefit from being closer to the stockpile. In the same way that when we place the granary here between the two herds, we're going to want to have our hunter's posts close to the granary. That way, when they get the deer, they can process it and walk swiftly from their post to the granary itself. If we put our woodcutter huts right next to the trees, they cut faster, and as close as they are to the stockpile as possible will also give us the ability to get that wood in quickly. Now, each one of these woodcutters will chop down a tree and then bring 3 logs from it back to his hut, at which point he'll start sawing those logs and placing them in our stockpile. If we move down and check on our hunters, they're already taking shots at the deer, which they'll then come pick up and haul all the way back to their post, where they'll do the various skinnings and butcheries so that they can then deliver the meat to the granary for us. At this point, the mission is basically done. we have the simple objectives, 20 meat, 40 wood. It won't take them very long to fulfill
Our
it.
food stocks are dwindling, my liege.
Now, we could speed this up. We have 83 popularity, and it's not going to really matter for this mission, except to keep it above 50%. We could reduce the amount of food that our population is eating. That's completely unnecessary at this stage. If we look, our woodcutters are presently sawing their logs. Each one of them will deliver 12 logs to the stockpile, so in a moment we will have 37 logs. And woodcutter number 3 is on his way. So if we check our stockpiles inventory, we're at 25.
A message from your scribe. Animal tracks have been reported in the area, sire.
And there we are, 37. This woodcutter being so close to the trees in the stockpile is
A
already
message from
moved
your
on to
scribe.
sawing the next stack of
Scouts are
wood.
reporting that packs of wolves are closing in on the castle. We must get the supplies stored.
Now,
Our
if we check
granary stocks are
the granary
growing,
again,
sire.
we have the option to turn off particular food to the granary. Don't need to do that this match either. We're already at 37 meat, so we're pretty good. We can boost our score a little by turning off meat, but again, it's not necessary. The mission's already over.
Whilst the men frantically ferry precious supplies into the granary, Sir Longarm and Lord Woolsack ride into the camp.
Job well done. Not too bad for your first attempt.
No, no, no! The fool has pitched camp in the middle of the wolves' migration track.
Good. It will give the men some well-needed practice before we make our strike.
Poof! Now I have no choice but to send out a scout to find a more permanent position.
Alright, moving on to the next mission, finishing the fort.
Day by day, the camp becomes more overwhelmed by the wolves, and their persistent howling robs the men of sleep. The situation is about to get out of hand when Lord Woolsack's scout returns. Soon afterwards, you are summoned into the command tent.
Sir Longarm has convinced me to give you another chance. We have found the remains of an abandoned stockade.
Wolves plague this county every winter, so we need you to get the stockade back up to scratch quickly.
Failure is not an option this time. Just keep your eyes peeled.
To ensure the safety of your men, you are required to renovate the abandoned stockade before winter is upon us again. Use your archers to kill off any wolves that threaten your peasants.
Alright, checking our hints. Once wooden food production are set up, enclose the keep by joining the walls already existing. Make sure that they have no gaps. You can use the spacebar to flatten the walls. You can also use the V key to reduce them without completely flattening them. And then archers are better off in a high position to fire at any attacking wolves.
Sight your granary, sire.
Now, I tend to put the granary on this mission down here by the south gate, and the reason being is, as with before, it gives us plenty of room for our hunter's post to be right next to the granary while keeping it close to the castle itself. So we'll get one of those for the moment. Put down our woodcutters' huts in the trees so that their production is sped up. This leaves us just the one wood in the stockpile and our already existing stockade. For the
Yes?
ease of shooting the wolves when they come, we move the archers to the north side. The wolves always come down this path. So if they do come, having the archers here provides the best position for them to shoot them sooner so that they don't attack our peasants. Peasants are replaceable, but we don't want to replace them. Now, our mission objectives on this one are to get the wood to complete the castle, get the meat. We're at 21 of the 35 needed. Again, this is another mission where we could reduce the granary's supply, but we really don't need to do that. There's also no reason for us to do anything with taxation in these first couple of missions, because we can't produce troops, so we have nothing to spend the gold on. The only thing altering the food does for us in this case is increases or decreases the happiness of our peasants. Our woodcutters are already cutting away, making logs into boards, which they will fill our stockpile with. Now, each of the woodcutters' deliveries will provide us with enough wood to produce 2 hunters' posts. We have 4 peasants remaining at the campsite by the keep, so we're going to produce all 4 of those as hunters' posts. Since we can't build troops, it's most beneficial to us on this particular map to just have as many hunters as possible. The hunters can shoot back at the wolves if they get attacked. This also ensures that we don't waste any of the manpower that we have. Since we start out with 8, we could build a hovel, but that's also not necessary. Our entire goal is just to complete the stockade and fill the granary. Now, since we started with the woodcutters on the west side of the castle, we do need the small gate in order for them to come in once the wall is complete. So we'll throw 1 down real fast, and then we want to make sure that the hunters can go out whatever direction they want. So while we wait for the woodcutters to bring us another set of boards, we're going to go ahead and pick the small wooden gatehouse and find the spot we want for it, which is right here, almost in the middle between all of the hunters' posts. Now, I kind of would like that dog to move. There we go. Trust in the chickens to move in the way instead.
A message from your scribe. The wolves are on the prowl, sire.
The wolves are already coming down from the north. So let's just close off the stockade as best we can. And when this next board arrives, we should be done. And there we have it. Victory. The wolves didn't even make it to the wall. So,
We are victorious, sire.
We'll move on to mission 3.
Well, at least you can complete half a task.
Job well done. Now, our men are secure, and we can send a hunting party into the next county to eradicate the wolves for good.
I suppose it must be done, but we have to proceed with caution, as that county is close to the enemy's border.
All right. Mission 3, eliminating the wolves.
We need you to train some new recruits in the use of the bow.
The wolves breed in the next county. Find their lairs and wipe them out. It's them or us.
Find a hilltop and fortify yourself there using a mott and bailey.
Duke de Pouce has been patrolling the area of late, so it is vital you are not spotted, as we don't stand a chance against a full assault.
If you see that rat before I do, be sure you slice him open for me.
Construct a Mott and Bailey fortification and strengthen it with some towers. Then start bow production and raise a force of archers with which to eradicate the wolves that run riot there.
Alright. Since the only objective on this mission is the elimination of the wolves, we go ahead, check our hints, place the keep on the hill as it puts in a better defensive position, and build a wooden wall with a platform to move your archers to optimize their firing range. Concentrate on gathering plenty of wood needed to create bows, walls, and platforms. The Fletcher's workshop should be close to the stockpile and the armory to increase efficiency. And then targeting a wolf with an archer will cause the entire pack to attack, so make sure you have enough archers before trying to eradicate the wolves.
Place a keep to site your castle, my liege.
Now the only hill is the one right here, but the Saxon Hall, which is the keep that we have available, doesn't actually have any firing positions for our archers to use. It looks like it should, but it doesn't. The top of that little tower isn't actually usable. Given that we need the wood fast, I always find that it is much better to put the keep down here close to the wood, so that when we build the woodcutters' huts, they just have a few steps right to the stockpile. The granary can go up on that hill, because it doesn't really matter. We're not actually going to build any defenses around it, because it doesn't help us on this mission. It actually hinders you, because you end up spending resources you don't need to. So we'll throw down 3 hunters' posts, 3 woodcutters' huts.
A message from your scribe. We'll have to work fast. These wolves are everywhere.
And then we have the wolves all encamped here on the western side of the river, except for this one pack right here that's all stacked up on itself. If we then take the wood and just close off the fords, no wolves can come through. Since we don't have to worry about the wolves now, we can focus our attention on this signpost down in the southeast. Duke de Pouce's patrols come through the county occasionally. They will come in here with at least 4 archers, I believe. So as soon as we have the wood for it, we'll build the Fletchers, then we'll build the armory so that he can get the bows going, and then we'll build a barracks. We have 2 peasants remaining, which gives us 1 for the Fletcher and 1 for producing the bowman. And since the Fletcher can only produce 1 bow at a time, that's just fine. So we don't need to produce any more people. We can, though. If we check, 2 out of 3 of our woodcutters are already sawing logs. And because we closed off the river while all of the herds were on the eastern side, they're all out here where our hunters can get to them. So we have no worry about the wolves attacking our hunters, or our woodcutters, or our king. In this case, he's right over here. The only thing we have to worry about now is going to be Duke de Poos's troops. So, first step, we will build the Fletcher right here next to the stockpile. And we will build the armory right next to the Fletcher. Now, as you can see, the Fletcher is just picking up boards out of the stockpile and taking them directly to his workshop. That is because for every bow that we need to produce, he needs one board for the bow and one board for his arrows. He'll produce the bow, and then he'll put it in the stockpile, or in the armory, instead of the stockpile. So this is the first mission in which you take resources, wood, and convert it into finished goods, bows. I always try to leave at least 4 boards in the stockpile so that if I have a bowman, he can produce bows while we wait for more wood to come in from the woodcutters. He's already produced one bow, so we will take some of the money that we already have and produce our first bowman. Now our woodcutters are going just fine, so we're going to go ahead and get that extra hovel because we can. That will provide us with an additional 8 peasants. And what we will do with them is we will make 5 of them into hunters.
Wood needed.
Nope, ran out of wood. That's what I get for losing my attention for just a moment. Fortunately, we still have 2 boards left, so by the time the woodcutters are finished and readying more boards, our Fletcher will not have run us completely out of wood. Now, we have 6 available peasants, but only 1 bow, so we can only produce 1 at a time.
We await orders.
Wood needed.
And there's the wood we need to get the next of the hunter's posts up. So that gives us 5 more of those. That'll leave us with these 4.
Wood needed.
When our next 2 come to the stockpile, we'll get ourselves another Fletcher. And there we go.
Our granary stocks are growing, sire.
Given that we need gold to produce archers, we're going to go ahead and move our granary up to extra rations, which will provide us with an additional 4 popularity.
No change in the treasury, lord.
And we're going to set low taxes, which will cost us 2 popularity.
Much, these taxes.
The people
Check that.
worship you, sire.
In the coming month, we have positive popularity, so we could actually go up one
No
more
change
step.
in the treasury, Lord.
Instead of low taxes, we'll go to average. That will produce
Bit
12
much,
gold
these
every
taxes.
month, which is enough to buy a single archer. 12 gold.
We await orders.
Now, proximity to the signpost means that there's only so close that we can build walls. We'll put a wooden platform right here next to it.
We await orders.
Take the
Archers
5 archers that
ready.
we now have and mount that tower. As soon as Depusa's archers come in, they
Sir,
should immediately
Depusa's
start
men have
taking fire.
arrived. We can't allow them to give away our position.
Our archers have a range advantage, and the wall will cover them from being shot, at least a little bit. You can see that they took a little bit of damage, but not much. And with Depusa's men disposed of, we can move on to dealing with the wolves.
My bow is yours.
Let's see.
We await orders. We await orders.
Wood needed.
Me lord, we are on our way.
All right. With our archers
Instructions.
positioned, we can start taking out these
Finding
packs.
targets. A
Now, the
message from
archers
your
will
scribe.
automatically
The wolves
shoot at
are
any
on the
pack
prowl,
that is
sire.
attacking our peasants. So we're just going to make it where all the
Notch
packs are
arrows.
angry. That way, our
Find
archers
them
will just
targets.
shoot whichever wolves they can see.
We await orders. Take steady aim. Yes. Arrows ready. Leaving now.
And the packs have basically been eliminated. So the mission should now be concluded.
We await
Weapons
orders.
needed, sire.
And there we go, victory.
Victory.
Now that we have the basics for both production of resources and production of finished goods, we can move on to mission 4. But it appears that my handler has my leash ready. So that's all the time we have for today. If you've enjoyed watching, please give me a treat. Like and subscribe to catch some more. Ta-ta for now. This princely poodle is off for a walk.